guys? Welcome to another episode of the Gym Podcast. Man, it's been a long time, I'll tell you that. December 3rd was my last podcast in the actual studio. I still have the studio, by the way, but right now we are in a coffee shop, kind of, I would say a little bit outside of downtown. It's not too far, but yeah, we're still in San Antonio, man. But I kind of want to get into the whole, I guess, taking a break from the podcast. First and foremost, shit got crazy as far as people wanting to come onto the podcast, people supporting, people just showing love, man. It was a surreal feeling, to be honest. But it came to a point where man, I don't know the right words to say it. I guess it was just kind of didn't really feel the love, but I think it was just in my own head because people were supporting, but it was just I just wanted more. So I don't know, man. I just got in my own head, had to take a break. It was kind of one of those social media breaks because literally, other than the audio and a little bit of video, I kind of just do pretty much everything myself. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I was talking to another person that has a podcast, and he had to take a break too, just because it's the amount of people that were hitting him up. His situation a little different because he's mostly focused on, I would say, just rappers and artists, and mine is just kind of like a broad. But yeah, he had to take a week or two out just because of the craziness. But back for a second round. Yeah, Eddie Hunter Ortiz, man, how you been, bro?
Good, man. Blessed.
Yeah, and
Yeah, blessed.
yeah, before I even start asking questions or get into the interview, I just want to show love to you, bro, because I think this was, man, it's been a year and a month, bro, since we did our last first
Dang,
podcast.
it's been that long,
It's
bro?
been, yeah, that's
Jeez.
crazy, and I reached out to him because I do remember, I think I was following Mario, and then you had posted something about Mario, and then he reposted, and I was just like, damn, he's it just kind of went down a rabbit hole, and then I found out you went to Southwest too a couple years later, and I was just like, oh, it's a fucking perfect fucking podcast, perfect interview. And boxing, I'm really into boxing too, so I was just like, let's do it. But kind of just you just took a chance, man. I'm not too sure on what you actually thought when I've never that was. Man, I'll be honest with you, bro. I had no fucking idea what I was doing at that point in time. No idea, bro.
You played it
Yeah.
off good, man.
I had no. I mean, I had to set up. Shout out to my boy Jay. I shout him out every single time because he's kind of the one that just told me the equipment, told me what to actually do. I don't even think. Were you recording? Were you editing the audio at that point in time, or was I just doing presets? Yeah, you were. Yeah, so he was editing, but yeah, bro, it was.
It's kind of on a whim, right?
Yeah, it's kind of on a fucking whim, bro. I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let's see where this thing goes. And 2021 turned out to be fucking crazy. I had a ton of people. And yeah, I met a lot of people, made a lot of connections. But how was this is kind of the first one of 2022. So how was 2021 for you, bro?
Good, man. A lot of self-evaluation that went on. A lot of like digging within myself and like confronting things that I kind of put off for a long time. Due to the fact that I got out of the identity of just being a fighter, right? Because I had fights fall through. I ended a relationship with Davies Entertainment at the time, who I was signed with. I think when we talked, ending that, and then you kind of like, who am I without boxing kind of deal for me in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so let me try to find that out. And yeah, so I came out on the other side better. I would assume.
There's no, yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but there's a
No.
podcast. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's I'm Athlete podcast, but they are just a bunch of football players,
Like Brandon Marshall. And
yeah,
right?
all them, and they're kind of big on that. Like, who are you outside of boxing? Obviously, they're retired, but like whenever they left the game of football, like what is your, I guess, what is your legacy? What do you want to leave behind? And you want to start businesses, you want to get into just all kinds of stuff. And I think that's really what they kind of emphasize on in the actual podcast. But that's good, man. I know for me was obviously everybody took a turn whenever 2020 hit, but I think that was kind of the turning point for me, bro. I was it got to a point where, yeah, man, it was just a slap in the face just to like figure out who the fuck you are and what do you kind of want to do. And I think that just this podcast kind of took its own toll, and it was one of the passions I started to kind of develop over the years. But I mean, what would you say was kind of the biggest thing you found outside of boxing that I mean, either you kind of do or um,
Outside
you
of
know,
boxing, like myself personally, I think being a father, like putting that first, like being a father and a partner to my woman. Like I was doing a lot of, things that were getting in the way of that, and they were kind of put on the back burner. And especially, with my kids, that would kind of come first, especially my son and my stepdaughter now. It's like, yo, I'm starting to put them first. And it's like, okay, why am I doing the boxing thing now? It's okay. It's because they're looking up to me, and I'm trying to set that example of like when you have dreams and you have goals, you chase them regardless of
yeah,
what people are saying, regardless of that. And for my woman, I was doing a lot of, dirty things like on the back end of like like the kind of notoriety I had with Davies and all this other stuff that, it's not something that I guess I look down upon, I frown upon, but yet I was doing it. And it's like, all right, so I had to kind of reconfigure who I was
yeah,
and get back to build a solid foundation within my relationship with God, firstly, my woman and my kids next, and it's made me a better person all around, man. Business wise, like doing electrical work with my dad. He owns an electrical company, so trying to learn all that and figure that out and help him on that end, as well as my boxing career. Now I'm in charge of my boxing career, which is craziest thing, man. Is
yeah. It sounds crazy.
yeah, the craziest thing though is that I tell people like, yo, if you say something, you gotta understand how powerful the words that come out of your mouth are. Because I would say when I was with Davies, like, yo, whenever our contract ends, like I plan on, managing myself and promoting myself, which I was doing before then, but I wanted to do it at a bigger level. And once our relationship ended, that stuff kind of sorry guys, my son.
No, you're
Thank you, man.
fine.
Thank you. um but yeah, so once that happened, I was kind of shell shocked because I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to happen as fast as it happened. And I was like, man, this is crazy because I put it out there and now it's happening. And so now I got to deal with it and run with it. And it's just crazy, man. God's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Really.
We had did a volunteer event back in November, right? Because it was Thanksgiving. We are handing out turkeys, and obviously me and Eddie were there. There were a few other people.
Mhm.
Jose, sports guy Jose, obviously Hector, the coordinator of that whole event, which was it was a good turnout, man. I'm not too sure if was that was my first kind of volunteer event. Was that your first, or you had done some like volunteer event?
So with 412
Yeah,
Threads, which
yeah,
is Hector's
yeah,
company, I had done a couple of, I think we did 2 events prior to that one. And the one right before that one was the one I did at Lanier High School, the basketball camp with Keldon
Oh
Johnson.
yeah,
And
okay, okay,
so
yeah,
I did
yeah,
that one with him.
yeah.
Previous to that, I think I helped him with, I forgot what I had helped him with putting together an event. But I love it, man, because shout out to Hector.
Yeah.
Hector, I know you probably wouldn't watch this, man. I want to shout you out, man, because you helped me get back in touch with God, man, and my relationship with that on that end. But not only that, just my biggest goal now, like outside of my own goals, is to pay it forward. And he's afforded me that opportunity by doing these kinds of events, and I want to continue that because of him. So I thank him.
Yeah, yeah. He's another one of those people that I kind of got in contact with when I first started. This was March of 2021. So he was kind of one of those people that just took on a whim and just went onto the actual podcast. I don't remember the episode number, but it's somewhere on the YouTube channel. He talks about it's 412 Threads. He talks about his stories, his backstory, what he's doing now, the events he has, and just like I said, that was my first time, and it's what's the word, man? I guess it's satisfying. There's a satisfaction that comes with giving just volunteering because obviously you're not getting paid for that time that you're actually out there. I mean, that's kind of what comes with the word volunteering, but um yeah, just seeing the smiles, just like just being there, bro, or even connecting with you because I know we that was kind of the first place we outside of the podcast that we kind of we're talking and yeah, man, it was just a dope event. But I want to get into I guess we'll get into the whole I guess the separation from Davey. So what was the
Mhm.
I guess what was the whole separation? I mean, obviously you just said it. The biggest thing was kind of managing yourself and promoting yourself. But
Yeah,
other than that, what was it kind of just contract or just negotiation
yeah.
issue?
No, my contract had ended. My contract ended. They wanted to renegotiate on another contract. I just didn't see. it being the same, if not better than the original contract I had signed with them. So, and I thank them if it gets back to him, Cameron, the whole team, Question, all them guys. I thank y'all for the opportunity you provided for me. I know I got what I wanted out of it. I know you guys did too. So it was a good business move. I think certain things could have went better from both ends, but I can't complain at all, man. You know,
Yeah.
it was a good run that we had together. So
Who are you with now? With are you say you're just managing yourself, right? So when
yeah.
you say you're managing yourself, um, like how is there someone that looks for fights? Do you do that personally yourself? Is there like promotion is just coming from you, right? Everything's just you, right?
Yeah, so
Or
like I've always believed that if you you know, if you have a good character and you do good business with other people and you stand on your word, a lot of people tend to want to do business with you. And so I've made great connections with people that like Emmanuel, who's helped me out. He's helped get me a fight before. And if you can do that, it's just a matter of just making the phone calls and seeing if they're willing to help out. You know, and I think that's where, like I say, doing the good
yep.
business and being of good character comes into play. Um, but it's very difficult. It's not easy. It sucks. Like for my opponent now, guys who want to like, especially on a club show, like I'm fighting a club show, right? Shout out to Rick Nunez. I appreciate you for getting me on the card, man. I know we tried last time. The opponents didn't want it after all, and they were trying to ask for too much money. So I thank you. But I know that like I sell the tickets, I pay for my opponent. So I'm not gonna get paid. But as long as I can pay my opponent, I'm good to go. So just even allowing, like giving me that kind of platform to even just pay for my own opponent through selling tickets, I appreciate it. But it sucks, man, because these opponents they're trying to get me, they want a lot of money because they see like, oh, you had this USNBC title, WBC title, and you fought on, PBC twice. Like they see that and they're gonna want some money. So it's hard, but at the same time, it can be done. Like I know that I can get a fight back on PBC or Top Rank or one of these cards, but as a B side. But I'm okay with that
Mhm.
because I've always been the underdog. You went to Southwest, man.
Yeah, yeah,
It's an
no, of
underdog
course.
story out there. So
Um, I guess that leads us into, I mean, the biggest thing, which we'll get into, I guess, kind of towards the end, is just March 5th is your next boxing fight.
yeah,
So it's kind of just what I just looked up, and it's in 2 weeks, right?
yeah,
About 2 weeks and a
2
half.
weeks.
So here in San Antonio, Texas, right?
hmm
So if you're in San Antonio, Texas, of course, all this information will be down below. But I personally, man, yeah, we need to link up after this because I want to purchase some tickets, bro.
Yeah, I got you.
I've been
I got
meaning
you.
to tell
Yeah,
you
if you
that.
buy tickets, man, don't think that I make any money off it. It goes straight to my opponent. Like they're making the money, man.
So okay, so that's a good point. I mean, you said that before. So I guess when you get into, I guess I wouldn't say logistics, but I guess the down contracts and like how people are getting paid in boxing. Um, I had no idea what you just said happens in the boxing. Like I didn't know that how it worked. So other than
Sorry, man.
no, you're
He just told me he's done with the center and rough,
oh,
bro.
no, you're good. You're good. We can cut this all out. But I figured so the way my thought process on it is just obviously there's promotions, I guess contracts and stuff like that. But I just thought that the fighter, both sides would just show up, fight, and then get paid. I didn't know it was kind of I didn't know or I didn't understand the concept of what you just said. But I mean, it makes sense now. Like there's
Yeah,
that,
well,
that
there's levels to it, right? So
yeah,
that's club shows. So that's like something like, okay, we're having a fight here at San Antonio. We're gonna put on a bunch of San Antonio fighters. We sell tickets. That's how we pay
yeah,
for our opponent and our own purse and everything else, right? And we
it makes
pack
sense.
up,
Yeah,
yeah. But say like if I was signed like, okay, and for instance, we'll go with like Mario or Josh or Bam or Hector, they're signed with managements that are at a higher level and they're signed with
yeah,
promotions, bigger promotions. That's different. That's a different ball game. They don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. It's kind of done for them. But I see it as like I'm a small business. I'm
100%.
myself, right?
Yeah, 100%.
A small business. Those guys I see more as like a little bit bigger than a small business because they're signed to these bigger names and things like that. So for myself, it's more about like the Nipsey Hustle kind of grind, like where I gotta
Yeah,
get out of my trunk and I gotta sell these mixtapes kind of deal. So I got to sell these tickets, get my opponents, build up my record, get these wins, get to those fights, right? Like
Yeah.
I had before, like with the Ortiz Colvin. I fought him. I got, paid $4,000. He was the A side. I don't know what he got paid, but I know it was his show. They had 2 belts on the line. I ended up beating him, getting those 2 belts. That ranks me high.
Yeah.
So then that's when Davies comes. They want to sign me. Then they start putting me on like the Alamo Dome fight in 2019.
Yeah, I
I
remember
headlined
that, yeah.
that. I didn't have to worry too much about selling tickets. They kind of did that for me. They got me the opponent. They got me a WBC belt that I, ended up winning in Austin, but then I defended it here in the Alamo Dome. So it just kind of changes. But right
Yeah.
now I'm at the point where like I had to kind of go and bust back down to how I started. Okay, we're going all the way. I took that L in 2020 on PBC. Didn't get a fight till now. So it's literally all that time. So now I got to bust it all the way back down to when I first started, which I'm okay with. Like, it's all right. That's the way it's got to be, sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned it. Do you feel like when you're fighting now, do you feel like time is going to be on your side just because, I mean, you went through what you just, I guess, you're your own small business style. So and then just fighting. And I guess what I'm trying to say is just, is time on your side into the next fight? Cause um, you're a small business style. So you gotta make shit happen, right? At
Yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
would you say that the time that you have since your last loss kind of just helped you?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer in that things happen for a reason, and all the fights that fell through happened for a reason. So to me, especially me being in touch with my spiritual side with God and my connection with God, and it's like, yo, He's doing this for a reason. Like I'm not getting these. I've trained my ass off, but I'm not getting these fights, and they're falling through because the opponent this or that. I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to
Yeah.
blame the promoter. It just is what it is. I'll just stay in the lab and just keep working on what I've been working on, and adding to that, and just continue just to learn and learn and learn. So this whole camp, even like I haven't really been training like for an opponent in particular. I just been training to be the best me and trying to figure out how I can become even better.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to a point. It's gotten to a point now where it wouldn't matter who they like after this. Like I'm gonna get through this guy, man. That's all. Like I'm just ready just to get in there. I don't even see an opponent in my way. It's really me versus me kind of deal, and I'm just ready to get in there and just compete.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, bro. It's kind of like this, man. I mean, you miss it, right? You miss being in the ring. It's kind of one of those things. It's just,
yeah, I love
yeah,
boxing saved my
yeah,
life, so I love it.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like this too, bro. Like there's podcasting. There's been times where, again, just going back to where I first said, there's been doubt. There's been just so much shit going through my head, but people reach out, bro. Like I don't know if you're familiar with shit. His name is Marcus, but he does like OCD creates. I think that's what it's called. And he has a podcast. I think what the fuck is his podcast? Podcast called like Mozzie Mondays or something like that. I don't know if you've seen it, but
is Mozzie World, is that what it is?
Yeah, Mozzie World.
I think I might have like seen it somewhere because that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyways, he just started this. This was like December, but he had sent me a text message about the whole podcast because I'm not too sure if he was just doing videos or what he was actually doing. But he just reached out and he just sent me a text like, "Hey, bro, we're about to start a podcast. I just want to let you know that you're the biggest reason why I want to get into the podcast world." And I was just like,
dope,
"Holy
man.
shit, bro, that is
Dope.
insane." Now he's now he's doing big things. I know. I think I follow question 210. I think he just signed. I don't know how that works. I don't know what the signage is, but I know he's working with Marcus. So shout out to him, man, because I'm pretty sure he's gonna be watching too, because we fuck with each other a lot. But yeah, man, I guess we'll go into the training camp. So, I mean, you just said though that you've been training regardless of like it doesn't feel like a training camp, but you just been working, right? You just been training. You just been going to the gym. You just been getting at it. So
Just trying to be a better me, 1%. Like I'm just chasing 1% every day. Like if I could just get that 1% better every day, that's all I'm chasing. Like the compound interest over time, like it's gonna be incredible,
Yeah, yeah. So you're leaving for Cali tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Which I know you said the gym, but can you remind me of the gym? Because I told
Yeah,
you
I'm
that.
going to Riverside to Robert Garcia's
Oh,
boxing
okay.
academy, RGBA.
Yeah. Okay.
Over in Riverside there. Yeah, so it's gonna be fun, man. My little brother Hector's out there, man. Hector Tanahara, shout out. superb talent. Probably the best, like, here in San Antonio, he's got the best skill set as a pure boxer. And I've always said that, right? So I'm glad that, like, even when he was back here after his loss, same thing with him. Like, the growth within him and his mind was incredible to see and witness, and it only, like, motivated me to, like, dang, like, all it took was discipline. Like, we didn't have to, like, look at the motivational videos and none of that. It was just like, when me and him are in the gym, it felt me, him, and my trainer Artemis. Big shout out to my trainer Artemis. It's like a brother to me. It's like family. We kind of all started as Osmoda Street Gym. So when we were all in the gym together, it felt like we were back at home. And it wasn't even, there was no pressure. Like, there was no pressure of, like, oh, we gonna fight, we're gonna work on this or that. Nah, it was just get in there, just grind it out and have fun while we're doing it. And we're kind of carrying that throughout this whole process. I don't even want to call it training; it's just a process.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
It's been fun.
It sucks, man. I guess it just, yeah, man. I wouldn't know how it actually feels when you do take a L in boxing, but I mean, I'm sure it fucking sucks, bro. Like, you just, I'm sure I guess the mental side of it too, right? Where you start doubting yourself, where I'm not too sure on how bad it got for you, or if it even got bad.
No, I did. It definitely did. So
How old is he?
He's wild,
How old
man.
is
He's
he?
5.
He's
5.
What's his name, man?
Mateo, Jeremy Mateo.
Mateo. That's cool, bro. That's cool.
Yeah, man. He's wild, man. But going back to what you're asking. I'll be completely honest, man. When I got back to the hotel room, because it was a weird way of, like, of how it happened. I just remember, like, he clipped me because I threw a feint, and I was coming with my own shot that I had been working on throughout the whole camp. Prior to that round, like, I was like, oh, it's gonna be easy, because he was falling into traps that I was setting, and I was kind of just outboxing him. And then that happened, and I was fine. Like, I knew he wasn't gonna knock me out, but at the same time, like, I was still kind of, like, seeing the white blur, but I was good. And he hit me again. He woke me right back up. And then I remember the ref kind of coming in, but I thought the round was over, because I looked at him and I'm like, what's going on with you? Like, why you in my, like, face kind of deal? Like, I don't know, in the video I was kind of putting my hands up like, what? And I remember sitting back down and I was like, what happened? And my trainer and my dad, they were like, oh, this and that. But I was thinking they were still talking about what happened in the round. That's what I was asking. Like, what can I work on? They're like, no, it's over. I'm like, yo, what? Like, this fight's not over. So I remember getting out of the ring, walking, and I was so pissed, man, like, yelling in the tunnels, like, fuck. And when I got back to the hotel room, I remember telling my dad and my trainer, like, yo, fuck boxing. Like, I'm done. Like, this shit sucks. You know, that's how bad, like that, because I was so overly confident. I think that was a mistake. I think I was humbled because I was cocky. It was to the point where I was, like, arrogant, because I remember telling Sean Porter, and they do a fighter meeting in the beginning, and Sean Porter and them were asking me, like, what do you feel about your opponent? I was like, all this dude was fighting nothing but taxi cab drivers. And I had an amazing camp. Like, I was, like, doing very well. I was sparring with Alex Rincon. Shout out to Alex. Superb talent out of Dallas. Fights for Golden Boy. And we were sparring. I was doing good. And, like, I just felt great. And so for me, I was just way over my head, like, confident-wise. And I think that's why I got the way I got. And I was like, fuck this. Like, I quit and this and that. But after I took a sleep on it, man, I woke up and I was like, man, that's not the way to, like, that's not how we go out in this motherfucker. So I got up, we got back on the plane, got home, I took a day off. I got right back in the gym and I was like, yo, you know what? Where can I make the adjustments? Firstly, 160 was not for me, bro. I don't know why the fuck I was even attempting to make that weight, bro. Like,
too much loss,
man.
right?
Yeah, bro.
I think that's what fucking Mario was feeling, right? When he was fighting at 140.
I believe it. Dude's big. He's like my height.
Yeah. Fuck.
He might not have, like, the same kind of, like, structure as me, but he's a big dude, you know? And it was horrible, man. So I fixed that right away. As soon as I got back, man, I was like, yo, I'm gonna go hit the gym. So I got a membership to Goals with my boys. Every day I was in there grinding away. It took like a month. I had put on like 20 pounds of muscle. So I was like, yo, I'm ready. So right then and there, like, I already knew, like, you know, I was saying, this shit ain't over. Like, I'm just gonna come back harder.
Yeah.
So that's what we had to do.
Yeah, I want to go back to the Mario, because I interviewed him after the Davis fight, and bro, in the interview he was saying how hard it was to actually make weight, bro, and he was talking about how I think before like his weigh-ins that he would, or that night before the weigh-in that he would, I don't remember what exactly. I don't know if it was like the hot tub, and then he went to go lay down in like his hotel room, and then he was covered in like blankets, and he was sweated out. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's intense, bro. Just to
Yeah,
make
man.
140. But what is he at? 147, right? That's what he
Now
fought
he
at.
is. Yeah, now he
Yeah.
is. Yeah, his last fight was at
Yeah.
147. I mean, bro, he was taking Thurman's a fucking monster.
Dog, I don't.
Thurman is a monster, and the Thurman that I saw against Mario is probably the best Thurman I've ever seen. And for him to take
Yeah.
them kinds of shots, bro, and him not waver when he was getting hit with them shots, yeah, he got rocked a little bit, but he
Yeah.
came back and he rocked Thurman himself. That, and it told me enough that like, yo, you're at where you're supposed to be at now. Because at 140, he was getting hit by a smaller dude,
Yeah.
and the dude was dropping him. Like, it doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. It does, but it shouldn't work that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, man, hats off to Mario, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think San Antonio needs to give that dude a lot more credit than they actually do.
People just see the loss, right? Because I mean, you go to Thurman, and he's fucking fought Pacquiao his last fight in 2019. Pacquiao's one of the fucking greats. I mean, Danny Garcia when he was in his fucking prime. Porter too. He fought Porter when he was in his fucking prime. Like these are like legit fucking fighters that are up there. And
Keith Thurman was a top 147 pounder for a minute.
He was. I mean, I think
was the man. He was the man.
Yeah, he had what is it? All four, right? At one point in time,
Bro, his
All
only
four belts?
loss is against Manny Pacquiao, a fucking GOAT, like a legend.
yeah.
So,
And I think people just fucking see the loss and they just because I was right after the fight. I don't know if it was a day after or 2 days after. I just like to snoop, right? So I was just going through his Mario's comments, and I just remember seeing someone said tough fight, but it's time to hang it up now or something like that. And I was just like, fuck, bro, these people really think like that it's easy just to go into the fucking ring. And I think it's just boxing fans, right? They just like the
just any kind of person though, really. Like any kind of person just wants that validation of just being right on the internet, right? But even then, deeper than that, I remember when I was at the U.S. Nationals, the year 2015, the year me and Hector won the U.S. Nationals, which qualified us for Olympic trials, right? Raul Marquez, who's he's a Showtime boxing analyst on Spanish channel and stuff like that, and he was a world champion from Houston. He had a talk with my dad. He's a real nice guy, according to my dad. I never got to talk to him, but my dad did, and they were chopping it up. And my dad said that guy had told him the amount of love that you'll get outside of your own city is incredible. The amount of love that you get with inside your city is disastrous. Like it'll fucking kill you if you let it.
Yeah.
And especially here in San Antonio, for whatever reason, here in San Antonio, people can't see beyond their doorsteps, so they want to take down whoever's next to them before they can make it, man. So all I got to say from the people that, that know me and the people that support me, you got to give these guys respect. You got to give Mario, Josh, Bam, Hector, all these guys who are fighting on national television all the time, like, give them respect, because without the Spurs, who else we have here? Literally nobody.
That's literally
and these dudes are literally out there doing some gladiator type shit for your entertainment, representing the city that we're all from. I think as a culture here in San Antonio and as a city in whole, like we got to get behind these guys 100%.
Yeah, I think it's low, man, when it goes to I guess just people in general, like their just mindset is just very low. And I think a lot of it, maybe I don't know if the word's jealousy, but
yeah, it is jealousy and envy for sure.
I don't think they can just handle that the fact that someone's doing better than them and they might have gotten the same opportunities that this person has. I think that's what it comes down to, and it sucks, man. It sucks that you feel like that. It sucks that you kind of just didn't make anything of it, or I mean, whatever your situation is.
I'd be lying if I said I was never, like, at one point in my life envious, like like I should be in that guy's position, like I should have this and that. But it took, like I say, it takes growth, and when you see outside of yourself and you're just like, you know what, this is good for all of us. Like this ain't just good for him. Like he's doing something for all of us, or she ain't doing this because she's doing it for all of us. Like we got to get ourselves out of that mindset of like, it has to be for me. It's a bigger world, man. It's not just for us. God has our blessings for us. They have blessings for other people, man.
No, I feel that. You mentioned twice, and I really wanted to talk about it because it's the first time I ever talked about it on camera. But Bam, he just won a WBC title. And it was Yeah, that fight was crazy. It was a good fight, man. It was I mean, I want to say 6 days. You know the right amount of days he took the fight
Yeah,
before?
it was like less than a week,
It was
or
5,
less
yeah.
than a week. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and went up 2 weight classes, so it's I don't know the weight class, but it's the same one as his brother. I know that for
Yeah,
sure.
115. Mm-hmm.
But that fight was incredible, man. I watched it and it was just going down to the basics. I know he had posted. I followed him on Twitter. He had posted like a video of just textbok work where he. I think it was just the uppercut where he fucking dropped him in like
Yeah.
the.
You say textbook work, man, but that was like fourth dimensional type stuff. Like the
That was
type of things that he's doing, like a 20-year-old shouldn't be doing those types
Yeah.
of things in the game. So it's incredible, man. But anybody in boxing in San Antonio, I'm more than sure they would say what I'm about to say, which is that we knew, at least I did. I knew Bam would be probably the best of our group of guys that came out on that same time. Bam would be the best of us all because I don't know. I just know because I see him outside of just like what everybody else sees.
Yeah.
And every time that I've ever run into Bam, he's been in the gym. And that's simple as that. That's all you.
Yeah.
It's literally that. The discipline separated himself from everybody else.
I think I follow Big Tex Johnny on Twitter, and he had posted a YouTube video of fucking Bam when he was like 12 years old, like sparring with somebody, and then also too, he had recently posted that that little, I guess, I don't know, it looked like a just spiral paper where he's like, I'm gonna be a world champion. And he's like 12 years old. I was like, bro, that's insane how just it comes to fucking, I guess, fruition. I guess that's the word.
Well, to see him now, man. So when the first time I ever met Josh and Bam was at 2014 Texas State Golden Gloves. Me, Hector, and Josh won. So we won the state title for San Antonio, and then we went on to nationals, right? And I met Josh there, and Josh was like dropping dudes. Like dudes that were supposed to beat him at Texas State, he was dropping them like nasty, like just clocking them, cold clocking them, and they were just dropping like flies. I was like, yo, this kid's a fucking mind. He's my favorite fighter out of San Antonio for that reason. Like this dude's just cold, you know?
Yeah.
I remember this little kid, dude, little goofy looking kid, like he must have been like 10 years old, 11 years old, just walking up, and they're like, what's up, Bam? What's up, Bam? And they're like, hey, this kid's bad. And he's like a 10, 11. I'm like, oh yeah? I was like, that's what's up. And at the time, I think I was like 19 or 20. I was like, oh, that's what's up. I was one of the older ones of the bunch. Like, that's tight. But man, like to see him from then to now, I'm just like, man, that's crazy, bro. Like that's so dope, man. Especially two brothers, you know, same weight class. I seen them in the gym. Their dad has always had their back. Shout out to Jesse. Jesse's a good dude too. Just incredible, man. Incredible to see. Good for the city.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, especially both of them. I know. Pretty sure Josh is about to have I guess what, the super fight, right? That's what he's supposed to fight next.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I
hope he gets what he deserves, man, which is a shot at like Chocolatito or the guy who he's fighting, Juan Estrada or
yeah, I think
whoever one of those guys is. Like
I think
whoever the top guy is, he needs that guy.
I think Estrada is the one that holds the Super Bowl because I guess he just has a regular. And I never got that too. Me and one of my good friends, Caesar, because I think up until when Mario won his belt, obviously Mario had the regular and there's like a super, like one above it. So I never really understood it. But
money.
Yeah,
that's the way they keep more money.
Yeah, that's what. And then on top of that too, bro, I didn't know that you had to pay for your belts to actually hold them. Yeah, bro.
And it's crazy amounts of money too,
bro. And he was who did he reference? He referenced Canelo. How he gave up some of his belts because he didn't want to fucking pay for
Floyd Mayweather is a perfect. He would do it all the time.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather wouldn't pay the sanctioning fee, so he would just let him have it back. And he's like, I'll just win it again. It's crazy, right?
Bro. Crazy.
Yeah, man. It's a weird sport, like the politics of it and the business side of it, you know, for sure. But shout out to all the champions out of San Antonio and the ones that will be champions.
Yeah, who was San Antonio for sure, but inside of Texas, who were some people to look out for that you kind of know of?
The Rincon brothers, Alex, George, Josh Juarez out of Laredo. He hasn't fought in a minute, and that boy needs a fight. Stop eating so goddamn much. Nah, he's been in the gym in shape, and him. There's a lot of kids coming out of San Antonio that when they turn pro is gonna be crazy. It's just there's too much talent in all of Texas to even just name them all. But if I were to like say, yo, who's like at that level where they're about to break through, and they're, you know, guys like, you know, the Rincon brothers and these types of guys, man. I think they're next up for sure.
Sheesh. That's what's up, man. What shit, I guess the last question, we'll fucking end on this, man. March 5th, your obviously boxing fight
Hmm.
here in San Antonio. What can the people expect from you, bro? I'm gonna pull up, so what can I expect from you when I go to this fight?
What can you expect? I'm gonna destroy this guy. Simple as that. And not because I don't even know the dude. You know, it's no disrespect to him. It's just I got a job to do, and I got places to go, and he's not gonna stop me. He's just in the way. So I got to get rid of him, move on to the next one, get right back in the gym, work on the things that need to be worked on, go for the next one. But first things first, right? Like this is the kind of the roadblock that's in the way. Got to jump over him. So simple
Let's
as that.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Again, man, this has been dope. I meant to say the name at the beginning of the podcast, but I didn't want to mess up my Spanish. But you'll see it right here in the Dos Hermanos, if I said
Yeah,
that correctly.
dos hermanos.
Hermanos. Yeah, this is like I said, it's not South Side, downtown San Antonio. I'm sorry, but man, shout out to Emmanuel for letting us come into the actual shop and just doing the podcast here. I mean, yeah, he kind of just went on a whim and let us come through, and I mean, him and Eddie are good friends, so it kind of just made a perfect podcast for all of us. And it's my took 2 months off, man, and we're fucking back. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'll say this: we're gonna do a podcast for the rest of the year for a week, every single week. So that's my commitments. I know I did it last year for about 6 months straight, which was insane, but it was too much time. I felt that yeah, we I like meeting new people. I like talking. I like figuring out mindsets. I like just doing shit like this, hanging out. I like seeing my boy Jay. Yeah, man, it's good to be back. But man, March 5th, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
Nah, of course,
Yeah.
man. Let me reverse roles or switch roles, and let me ask you a question, man. So, what is your
Yeah.
whole like plan with the podcast, like for this year? I'm not saying
Yeah.
just your short term. Like, what is your goal?
Yeah, man. So I
But minus, I mean, you just said you're gonna do a one podcast a
yeah,
week.
podcast a week. Yeah. So my goal, my biggest thing is obviously I've said it before, is just impact. So I like impacting people's lives. Um, but a couple of things I want to do. For sure, like I want to get people on that do things that I have passion in. So
Hmm.
we're not really passions, but that I like. So boxing is one of the things that I like. Business is another thing. So for more business owners, because I feel like this right here, this is obviously we're in a business, so giving promotion to this is a
Hmm.
outstanding way to just show love to San Antonio. This San Antonio pretty much just raised me, obviously just like
Yeah.
you. So it's only right. I also too started off actually interviewing rappers, artists, so I'm gonna stick to that too. Um, I said in a previous video that I probably wouldn't air, that probably is not gonna get aired, but kind of want to start off a sanction where it's just actual rappers. I know Joe Rogan does his actual podcast where he has people on, and then on the side, since he's heavy into UFC, he has like UFC.
The fight, yeah, the
Yeah,
fight podcast, or
yeah,
what is it?
yeah.
The fight watching thing.
So it's just it's same thing but just separate. So I figured I'll have something like that. So that's one of my goals. Don't actually know the name of it, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, just making connections, man. I think that's my biggest thing. Obviously, I want to get a better setup, more cameras, more
Hmm.
which I mean it's very expensive, costs money. So um, and I think yeah, that should be it, bro. Yeah, I don't know what else.
Yeah,
My
that's dope.
my biggest thing is just impact, bro. Like I've said this before, is if I can impact someone's life to do better and kind of overcome my mistakes, because I've talked about my mistakes all the time, then so be it, bro. I did my job, so
Hmm.
that's what it means to me. Because I think people, and just to go back, because San Antonio, bro, they man, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised on how much people say they have like a good foundation or a good mindset, but it sucks when you start when you start seeing actions and you start just the way they talk and yeah, just seeing stupid shit that they do. You'll start to realize soon that they're not really who say they are. So
Hmm.
I kind of just want to put good out in the world, because I mean, what's better than put good than bad? So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and I think we share that in common, is the fact of like inspiring or I don't want to say trying to inspire, but inspiring
yeah.
and going out to try and inspire more is it's kind of a similar goal that we have, right? Like it's kind of what I want to do. I think the remainder of the year is to inspire and pay it forward, give back as much as I can. So I feel like the more I give, the more I have, kind of deal.
Weird how that works, man.
Yeah,
It's
it really
great.
is. Well,
How-
I think you, because when you're giving it out, you understand what you have. Like
Yeah.
you see what you have around you, and
Yeah.
it's just crazy, man.
And I think that goes back to the volunteer event we had, man, because you
Yeah.
have people coming on to, what would you say? This is like the West Side, right, San Antonio,
Yeah,
that we did it on.
Mhm.
And you start seeing people that don't have the luxuries that you might have, and it's kind of like, fuck, man, you should really not take the shit that you have for granted. 'Cause there's a lot of people that don't have what you have, man. But man, any last words? Anything you want to say before we get up out
And
here?
just to all my supporters, I love you all. To all San Antonio, I love you all, even though I think a lot of us got our minds fucked up, me included. I'm not singling anybody out, but yeah, let's just keep the ball rolling, man. And if there's anybody out there that's watching this that has any kind of opportunity for me to go out and talk to some kids or train them, let me know. I want to give back, especially to those that are less fortunate. So let me know.
Let's do it. This is the Gym Podcast, episode 73. Man, we out here, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Of course, bro.
Later. Jeez. You need a pee? No?
Just ready to go, man. Walking in front of the camera and everything at the end.
Nah, you're good.